Hello, I'm Dr. Kevin Butterfield, founder of Hippocampus Labs. Welcome to the Better Brains, Better Futures podcast, a place where we're changing the world one brain at a time. This podcast is designed as a powerful educational tool for practitioners, patients, athletes, parents, coaches, and families who want to unlock the science of neurofeedback and discover what's truly possible for the human brain. Together, we'll explore insights, protocols, and real-world stories that reveal how brain training can transform lives. Now let's listen in on the Hippocampus Labs AI Neuro Team interview. Better brains, better futures. Let's dive in.
Have you ever had that feeling like you're constantly juggling, trying to keep all the plates spinning, career, family life, maybe even looking after aging parents?
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the day, your brain just feels, fried, a bit frazzled.
Yeah, I think a lot of people recognize that.
Or maybe it's that sort of brain fog people talk about. Or restless nights where you wake up feeling even more tired. Or maybe those subtle anxieties that kind of creep in, especially hitting your late 30s, 40s, early 50s.
Easy with living.
Well, if any of that sounds familiar, trust me, you're really not alone. So today we're doing a deep dive into something that's showing, there's an incredible promise for exactly these kinds of challenges. It's called neurofeedback.
Mm-hmm.
And we're specifically looking at how it seems to be making a real difference for women aged, say, 35 to 55. Think of it as a kind of specialized brain training, a way to help your own brain learn to regulate itself better. Almost like a personal coach, but for your neural pathways. We've got some really fascinating source material here, articles, some cutting-edge research papers, and even some quite powerful real-world stories from people.
Yeah, the testimonials are quite striking.
So our mission today is to sort of unpack what neurofeedback actually is, why it seems particularly relevant for this specific group of women, what the science is saying about it, does it actually work?
Crucial question.
And, how it's applied in practice. We want you to get the main ideas quickly without feeling like you're drowning in technical jargon.
Exactly. And what's really compelling, I think, is how this approach explores harnessing the brain's own power to regulate itself, often, without needing medication.
Okay.
And we'll connect that directly to the unique physiological things happening, the cognitive load that women in this age group often face. It's about finding balance, really.
Okay, so let's dig into that first point then. Why specifically women between, say, 35 and 55? Why is that the prime demographic for something like neurofeedback? It sounds quite targeted.
It does, and that's a really excellent question because it often comes down to a confluence of factors, a kind of perfect storm that defines this life stage.
A perfect storm, okay. Like what?
Well, first, you've got significant hormonal shifts happening. We're talking perimenopause, menopause.
Right.
And these changes, they aren't just about, hot flashes. Those are part of it. They can really impact brain function, mood, sleep patterns, sometimes in ways that feel quite disruptive.
Okay, so hormones are a big piece. What else?
Then there's often a really high cognitive load. I mean, think about it. Many women are juggling demanding careers, raising kids, sometimes teenagers, which is a whole other level.
Tell me about it.
And increasingly, they might be caring for aging parents too. That's a huge mental and emotional weight, often unseen.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And third, this group also tends to be more susceptible statistically to certain things like persistent sleep disturbances or migraines. These often get worse or start during this time.
Ah, okay.
So when you put all that together, the hormonal changes, the high mental load,
Right.
the increased vulnerability to sleep issues or migraines, you get this demographic that's under significant, often chronic brain strain.
That makes so much sense. It really paints a picture of how all those things pile up and lead to that feeling of just being overwhelmed or that information overload you mentioned.
Exactly.
It's not just in your head, as people sometimes dismissively say. There are real physiological reasons, real life stage pressures contributing.
That's precisely. And often it's that gradual buildup that leads someone to think, okay, something has to change. Maybe it's the brain fog getting really noticeable or the sleep just isn't restorative anymore.
Right. Or maybe one really bad migraine pushes them over the edge to look for something different.
That happens too. They start looking for non-drug options.
Okay, so let's say someone gets to that point. They decide to try neurofeedback. What kind of results, what tangible benefits are people actually reporting? What can you realistically expect?
Well, the benefits clients talk about are pretty wide-ranging, and they often directly target those core challenges we just outlined. Take sleep, for instance.
Yeah, sleep is a big one for so many people.
Huge. Many report Deeper sleep, more reliable sleep, fewer times waking up in the night.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right, and finding it easier to actually fall asleep in the first place. Plus, feeling like they have more energy the next day.
Okay.
And specifically, this seems linked to certain types of training, like SMR or Z-score training protocols designed for insomnia. SMR helps the brain find that calm but alert state that lets you drift off.
Interesting. And what about things like hot flashes or mood swings?
Good question. For women dealing with perimenopause or postmenopause symptoms, there's evidence showing fewer and milder hot flashes.
Really? Fewer and milder.
Mm.
Plus, often improvements in overall mood and sleep quality alongside that. This is often linked to acoustic closed-loop neurotechnology. It sounds complicated, but think of it like your brain hearing its own activity as tones,
Okay.
and then learning to sort of tune itself into a calmer, more stable state using that sound feedback.
Wow. Okay. And anxiety or depression?
Yeah, for anxiety, especially generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, clients often report feeling calmer overall, less reactive, reduced symptoms.
Out of her found word.
Often through protocols like parietal alpha up training. Alpha waves are linked to being relaxed, internally focused, so encouraging the brain to produce more alpha in certain areas seems to help dial down that constant worry or rumination.
Makes sense. And the brain fog, that feeling of not being sharp.
Yes, addressing the brain fog. Many people report feeling sharper, better focus, improved working memory.
That's huge for coping with that cognitive load we talked about. Absolutely. And this lines up with alpha-based protocols too, which research suggests can enhance memory performance, basically helping the brain process things more efficiently.
That's quite a list. It covers physical comfort, like the hot flashes, emotional well-being with anxiety and mental sharpness. It really sounds like a comprehensive toolkit.
It can be. The underlying idea, the kind of aha moment, is that the brain is incredibly adaptable. Neurofeedback gives it this, like, real-time mirror.
A mirror.
Yeah, it lets the brain see its own electrical signals, and then it learns, through the feedback, the sounds, or maybe visual cues on a screen, how to adjust that activity, how to optimize it.
So you're not directly treating the symptom.
Exactly. You're empowering the brain to regulate its own systems better.
Yeah.
It's learning self-correction, building healthier neural pathways. That's why the benefits can touch on so many different areas: sleep, mood, focus.
Okay, that's a really important distinction, empowering the brain itself. And you mentioned research. It's not just people saying, I feel better, right? There's actual science.
Oh, definitely. What's compelling is that there's a growing body of solid scientific evidence supporting these outcomes. These aren't just anecdotes.
Can you give us some examples? Like, what kind of studies are we talking about?
Sure. Let's start with sleep again, since it's so common. There was a single-blind, randomized controlled trial, an RCT, which is kind of the gold standard in research.
Right, high-quality evidence.
Exactly. It involved adults with insomnia. They did 15 sessions of either Z-score, SMR training, or other individualized EEG training.
And the results.
Pretty significant improvements on standard scales, like the Insomnia Severity Index and the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. And get this, everyone who finished the trial was classified as a normal sleeper afterwards.
Wow. From chronic insomnia to normal sleeping. That's impressive.
It really is. Then, for perimenopause and menopause symptoms, there was an open-label trial using that acoustic feedback method, EEG mirrored tones. The system's called HIREM.
Okay.
It showed significant drops in how severe the hot flashes were. And participants also reported sleeping better and having lower depression scores. That sounds promising.
It does. And importantly, there's already an RCT protocol registered to confirm these findings more rigorously. That shows researchers are serious about its potential.
Good to know. What about anxiety?
There was a clinical trial looking specifically at generalized anxiety disorder. It found that doing alpha up training over the parietal cortex, that's a specific brain area, reduced both long-term trait anxiety and...
It suggests the brain is getting better at managing internal thoughts and responding appropriately to what's important externally. Better emotional regulation, basically. More resilience.
Okay, I see. And finally, the cognition, the brain fog piece.
Yes. For that, there's a meta-analysis which pulls results from lots of different studies. It showed that alpha neurofeedback improves both working memory, like holding information in mind, and epithotic memory, recalling events.
So there's a mechanism explaining why people feel mentally clearer.
Exactly. It provides that scientific backing for the subjective experience of the fog lifting.
Hearing about RCTs and meta-analyses, that definitely adds weight. It shows this isn't just wishful thinking. There's serious investigation happening.
There really is. It's fascinating to see the clinical trials often confirming what practitioners observe. The brain really can learn to re-regulate itself if you give it the right kind of feedback.
It does make you rethink how adaptable our brains might be.
Totally. It's a shift from just managing symptoms to actively training the brain for better function.
Now, while the science is crucial, you mentioned earlier that sometimes the most compelling stuff comes from real people, right? Their actual experiences.
Absolutely.
Our sources had some really powerful testimonials from women who've been through this. I wanted to share a couple.
Please do.
Okay, one woman said, and I'm quoting here, "It took less than 3 weeks to get relief from a problem I'd had for 11 years." And she was talking about hot flashes.
11 years. Wow.
Imagine! After more than a decade, relief in under 3 weeks. Another woman described her struggle with sleep and anxiety, saying, "Sleep was like a snowball. I finally stopped spinning."
That's evocative. You can feel the relief in that.
Totally, that feeling of thoughts just racing, finally calming down. And then for migraines, which can be so debilitating, someone shared, "After 2 months of neurofeedback, I weaned off migraine meds."
That's life-changing for someone with chronic migraines.
Absolutely. Moving off medication like that. These stories really hit home, don't they?
They really do.
Yeah.
And you can hear how they echo the research findings we were just talking about. It's the lived experience behind the data points.
Yeah.
It shows how these changes translate into, well, just profound improvements in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
It's about getting relief, getting your life back in many ways.
So, okay, if someone listening is intrigued by all this, the benefits, the science, the stories, the big question is probably, how does it actually work? What's the process? What does the training look like?
Right. It's a very systematic process,
Yeah.
and maybe most importantly, it's highly personalized. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing at all.
Okay, so where does it start?
It always starts with a really thorough assessment. First, there's usually a detailed chat and intake to understand exactly what challenges you're facing, what your goals are.
Makes sense.
Then comes the KEEG. That stands for quantitative electroencephalography.
Okay, QEEG. What is that?
It's basically mapping your brain waves. Think of it like taking a very detailed fingerprint of your unique brain activity patterns. It shows us precisely where your brain might be, say, overactive or underactive compared to norms for your age.
So it finds the specific areas that need attention.
Exactly. For example, the KEEG might show something like frontal beta hyperarousal that's often linked to anxiety, your brain kind of running too fast.
Okay.
Or it might show parietal alpha deficits, which could tie into that brain fog or trouble focusing. We even see specific patterns, like temporal high-frequency excess, in people who suffer from severe hot flashes.
Interesting. So the map guides the training.
Precisely. Based on that KEEG map and your specific symptoms and goals, individualized training protocols are designed.
Can you give some examples of protocols?
Sure. For sleep issues, a common one is SMR training sensor motor rhythm, which helps stabilize sleep cycles.
We mentioned that earlier.
Right. If anxiety or maybe constant worrying is the main issue, we might use alpha up training, often targeting specific spots like P3, P4, or Ps in the parietal lobe to promote calm.
Okay.
For hot flashes, it might involve protocols aimed at calming down that high-frequency activity in the temporal lobes, sometimes using that auditory mirroring feedback we discussed.
The tones, yeah.
And for something like migraines, it's often a more combined approach. Neurofeedback might be one piece, integrated with things like better sleep habits and stress management techniques. It tackles it from different angles.
And how is the actual feedback delivered during a session?
It usually involves specialized computer systems, like Brain Avatar's one platform, often using Z-score training principles. Sensors are placed on your scalp to read the brain waves in real time.
Painless, I assume.
Oh, completely painless.
Yeah.
Just reading the signals. And the system then gives you feedback. Maybe sounds change, music plays, or something happens visually on a screen whenever your brain waves move into the desired pattern.
So your brain learns by getting that immediate reward signal.
Exactly. It learns, when I do this with my activity, I get the positive feedback. Over sessions, it reinforces those healthier patterns. Systems can use customizable reward bands and different types of feedback, like those tones, to really fit the specific goal.
That really drives home the point you made earlier. It's truly personalized. It's not just a general brain game. It's tailored to your specific brain activity and your challenges.
Absolutely critical. That personalization based on the KEEG is key to making it effective for these complex, often deeply personal midlife issues.
It's not a blanket solution. It's targeted training.
Exactly. It's fundamentally a learning process for your brain. We're providing clear, immediate feedback, allowing it to essentially teach itself how to function more efficiently and find a better balance. Like learning any new skill, really.
We have covered a lot of ground today. It feels like quite a journey.
It has been.
We started with understanding why midlife women, this 35 to 55 group, might be particularly well suited for neurofeedback given those unique pressures.
The hormonal shifts,
Yeah.
the cognitive load.
Right. Then we looked at the whole spectrum of benefits people report from getting better sleep and fewer hot flashes to feeling less anxious and thinking more clearly.
Tangible improvements.
Then we dug into the science, the studies like RCTs and meta-analyses that are actually backing this up.
Showing it's not just anecdotal.
And finally, we just walked through how it actually works. The assessment, the key G mapping, the personalized protocols, the feedback.
Making it concrete.
Yeah. So bringing it all together.
Well, if we connect it back to the listener, the real goal of this deep dive was to give you a clearer picture of a really promising non-drug option for managing some of those complex challenges that often crop up in midlife.
Right.
It really does offer a potential pathway towards better self-regulation, better well-being, helping women navigate a demanding phase of life, and hopefully reclaim some vitality.
A path to better regulation. I like that.
It may be a final thought to leave you with. If we accept that the brain is this incredibly adaptable organ, always learning, always adjusting, this whole exploration of neurofeedback kind of raises a bigger question, doesn't it? What other untapped capacities for self-regulation, for resilience, might our own minds hold? Capacities just waiting for us to learn how to access them, how to guide them.
That is a fascinating question to ponder. What else is our brain capable of learning? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today.
Thank you for listening in today on the Better Brains, Better Futures podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on our latest. If you're a healthcare practitioner who wants to learn how to implement our turnkey neurofeedback system with protocols developed by our expert neuro team to deliver predictable, life-changing results, visit hippocampuslabs.com and send us an inquiry. If you're a patient, parent, coach, athlete, or if you have a loved one who could benefit from a better brain, go to hippocampus.labs.com and we'll connect you with the closest location offering our proven system. Our proprietary protocols and clinical expertise put us among only about the most advanced clinics worldwide, and our mission is to go deeper, deliver results, and train the brain to be better so that every person can create a better future. I'm Dr. Kevin Butterfield, and this is Hippocampus Labs, changing the world one brain at a time. Thank you.